Just going to take this folder. So I'm just looking at that's a flush. That was a backdoor flush. Usually when they get a backdoor flush, you usually get paid off because it's hard to put somebody on the backdoor flush. Again, I'm unregistered here. Nurse Chris. And, George. He's a pretender. He's not a contender because he can't pass the cadaver test. So this fat, I call her Fat Kim. Fat Kim came here and I've gained like 10 pounds tonight since she's been here. The guy's like, oh wow, you're fat. I had a six-pack here on May 5th. I had a six-pack. Now I have the Fat Kim. Getting her metabolism, slowing the metabolism right down to zero, guys. And give them the wrinkles at the time of the meeting. They don't realize that you can hear, like, all I do is... Yeah, the doctor that's said. Well, first of all, in 2019, on August 21st, 2019, I came to this as a tactic to try to justify violating me, and they did so 5 months later, and like I was in my 40s, and most people that are schizophrenia is from 17 to 32, even though I was like, 5 years ago, I was 42 at the time. And so 10 years older than normal. And then now he changed his diagnosis as bipolar. And I've never exhibited any super high or low moments online. And my half-sister used social media posts from last year and 6 years ago. And I was hospitalized on May 5th. They're like, okay, well, somebody from the community. And then they tell me who. Then they're like, well, it was your doctor. And then they're like, oh, it was your family member. So then they have this thing called your rights advisor, because in Canada it's terrible. Anybody could say somebody's a threat to them, and then they could be hospitalized for mental health issues. It's brutal in Canada. So anyways, so on May 9th, 4 days after I was hospitalized, my half-sister sent a letter. She said I smoke crack. And I'm like, I never smoke crack. And she's like, well, I heard you did. And it's like, you didn't hear I did, because I don't talk to people. Right? But she lived on Princess Court. And I told her, I'm like, well, I told her that her mom was like the second place line. It's like, really, I'm the true British king. And she was the second place line. She was an evolutionary contender, but her mom didn't have it. So she's not biologically immortal. She gets AFib. And she used my lungs to help her with asthma, so I'm doing that for her. And, they have cadavers connected. There's a video I posted where my hands are different colors of forearm, where if I had any cardiovascular issues, they would be exhibited in my forearms as well. And they're not. And when I did my blood pressure, when I first got here, they tried to, that C. O'Brien was me, and so my blood pressure was 160, and then I got it 3 days in a row. I got it down from day 6, 7, and 8. It was 105, 109, 113, and then on day 9, they didn't even test my blood pressure because they were trying to develop a new strategy. Then it was up higher for the next 3 days, and then over the last 2 days, it's been lower. The last few days it's been lower because they drugged me. I feel nanotechnology. I feel drops of liquid on my skin when they're giving me blood pressure tests because they're trying to stimulate my blood pressure. I don't want to hide my blood pressure. I want to show my natural blood pressure. Yesterday, I emailed 20 different evolutionary biologists in a different city, different countries, pardon me, and once I'm out of here, I plan on doing some things. I talked to a doctor. I showed him I had a unique rib cage. I see my thoughts in color, and when I look up at stars, I could see them in depth. I get like you guys see stars like flat, because I did most of my life. But when they don't, when they unhack my eyes, I see them in depth. One star is closer or further away than another one. But they hacked my entire life. They hacked my sense of smell. And I'm glad. That's the only thing I'm glad is because unfortunately people stink to me because all human biology. So my all human biology doesn't realize it thinks I live outside. It thinks I'm trying to smell like animals that I want to hunt, and it thinks I'm trying to smell animals that I'm trying to avoid. It doesn't realize it's with his people. So like I was in Toronto and there was this kid that was 30, 40 feet away from me. I could smell the urine on them. It was disgusting. If there's a shitty diaper in the room, I'm going to be able to smell it throughout the room. It's disgusting. So I'm glad they did some things, like they chemically reduced the length of my son's penis. They tapered my penis when I was circumcised as an infant to facilitate copulation. And they didn't allow me to show proof to lawyers because they have lawyers that represent you, but they didn't allow me to show proof. Every time I try to talk about proof, they cut me off. And I told them, because my dog is like, oh, grandiose ideas. And I told them how with nanotechnology eye cameras, with Bluetooth communicates like Wi-Fi. Nanotechnology eye cameras with Bluetooth, with nanotechnology in the brain vision, making the blind being able to see. So with technology, I cured blindness, and they said. So that's all I'm going to say. And I told him how I put a guy on a straight flush in Texas Hold'em poker. I've been the first in the world in 2 games, a math game and this other game. So I've been the first in the world in 2 games, and they're like grandiose ideas. Like I'm so smart with wind. I could power your car with wind. I could make it so Canada would be invasion. I could make it so we didn't require any type of electricity other than wind, because wind is unlimited. As long as we have an atmosphere, there's wind. But Canada chooses to raise it. Every 6 days, the Canadian government buy a tank. Every 8 days, airplane. Every 30-something days, a frigate or a destroyer. Every 40-something days, a frigate. Every 50-something days, a corvette. But they choose to develop technology, like in the hospital here. Over the last 2 days, I have to wipe my ass like about 20 times. And then I took a shower. Then I had to wipe my ass again. They want me to wash my ass. These rapists, they electronically violate you and commandeer your body. And they want me to, like this, I call her Elf here. She's on like Good Morning Canada or something like that. She has her ears stick out. If your ears stick out like Will Smith, that means you're generational, you're inbred. It means your relatives are too closely related. And that's how my nieces and nephews are, even though my parents were born in a different country. So my brother's parents were born in a different country. But we're so closely, my brother was so closely related to his wife that it was interbreeding still. Right, because the royal family has been breeding us like dogs. Like 1894, my family went to went to a royal ball. Like, I used to have nobility on my family, and so we went to a royal ball, and they begged one of the royal family members, like the master, who is the true king. I'm uploading a video right now to TikTok, and it shows that at 19 I looked like King Charles officially as Prince Philip. You look at King Charles at 19 as a young man, and then Prince Philip as a young man, and then as a young man. I look more like Prince Philip than his official biological dad. So his dad, Prince Philip, isn't King Charles' biological dad. And Harry isn't William's full brother. That's how the royal family is. You never know who's. They show you the line of succession, but the line of succession because there's always somebody that was sleeping around with somebody else. Like, my dad looks like Frederick III, the second last German emperor, and his wife looks like my mom, and his daughter looks like me and my mom, or his son, pardon me, looks like me and my mom. But his wife, Frederick III's wife, looked like my daughter when she was a kid. Show this on, proved it online. Like twins, they look like twins. Because I didn't realize, but I share something like 38% of with my ex-wife. My parents once again were born in a different country. My parents weren't even born in Canada. I was born in Toronto, and my ex-wife lived in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. So I thought I could meet with any woman on the planet and never had to worry. But I have 38% of the same Jesus ancestors as my ex-wife, who looks like my half-sister, which I didn't realize until after I left my ex-wife. And my half-sister's daughter, two of them have kids, and both their husbands or boyfriends look like me. You know, like a couple years ago, like the one guy named Andy, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, holy shit, does Andy ever look like me when I was in my 20s? Right, and then my oldest niece, she has, her boyfriend's a black guy, and he's never showed up to any, like, they've been together like 6-7 years now, and he's never showed up to any family functions whatsoever, and but he just had a kid with her, so I wonder how long he's gonna last with her. And but in this picture, my niece looked like my daughter, and her boyfriend looked like me. So they're pretending that I had kids with my daughter, and I didn't. Because I said in 2024, I'm like, well, I'm organically able to change my DNA. And because I have evolved human biology, so I'm able to change the structure and evolve. Basically, because you guys have, like, say, analog DNA, and I have, like, say, digital DNA. So I could reroute structures of my brain. Like, with your biology, there's an expression, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? With my biology, it's not a problem. Like, I could recondition myself to change the way I speak really easily. And so anyways, I'm like, okay, well, maybe once I'm famous, once I'm king, because I like grassroots sports. I love watching the young guys or young girls play, and then I love watching the whole league develop over the season. So I love watching pros play. Don't get me wrong, but I love when my son played soccer and hockey. I love watching the whole league develop and get better every year, right? So I'm like, well, maybe I'll change into a black man so I could watch these games anonymously. So they pretend that I'm a black man. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I should live forever. So maybe I would want to experience childbirth. So then there's times where they pretend that I'm a woman. I've never did either of those. They pretend in simulations that I get weed flown in. I love cannabis so much. I'd rather have cannabis than food. You know, I eat maybe twice a day. You know, when I'm not in the hospital, I smoke cannabis all day long. It's legal in Canada. But they pretend I'm in a different country and they violate me. They pretend it's illegal in Canada. and it's 2025. They don't acknowledge reality. It's December 13th, 2024. I realized that my brain controls the planet, and they stopped all my organic. They use my mind for perfect strategy, and they stop following my perfect strategy to stop generational pedophiles. Because they're pedophiles. When I was at the hospital, the cop, he was feeling my pockets, and his hand was away from my pocket, and then all of a sudden he turned his hand towards my ass. On the body cam. I'm like, hey, you sexually assaulted me. And he's like, no, I didn't. And but in the that to be the case. And because he turned his hand towards my ass, he didn't have to. Like he's feeling away from, like at first it was away from my ass, and then he turned his hand towards my ass, and I felt his fingers. Like he didn't squeeze it, but he touched my ass. It was unnecessary what he did. So in the cop car, while I was waiting at the hospital, 3 times I got him to say that he was just a cop, and 1 time I got him to say that I was smarter than him. And the whole time at the station, they were trying to speak pedophilia speak, but I understand it all. Accordingly as king, because crimes against me is to reach. That's what so crimes against me, it's high treason, and it's punishable. But Canada secretly kills people. And, they have a profiling system, a sexual profiling system. They have a special one just for me, so they could rape me with it. They augmented my penis when I was circumcised. They tapered my penis. I have a scar on the entire shaft. They reduced my girth and my length. They tapered my penis just to justify raping me. And they violate my kids, and they have stories about my unborn grandkids. Like, when I was with my ex-wife, I was pretty sexually promiscuous. I was sleeping with 6 women at the time, on and off. And but I could only achieve an orgasm with my ex-wife. So who do you think I chose? When I masturbated, I could orgasm all the time. But when I was having sex with these women, I could only orgasm with my ex-wife. So the government restricted who I could have sex with, in a way. Well, right? Because obviously you're going to go with the one that you could orgasm with, right? Not the ones that you wouldn't orgasm with. And then when I was in the hospital in 2020, so what they did was they made it so that I felt the sensation of an orgasm, but I didn't have any. So I had no feeling coming out, but I felt like I had an orgasm, and at the time it was perfect for me. I'm like, great, no mess. I don't have a mess to clean up. It's fucking fantastic. But they did this to be able to control who I could breed with. The Canadian government is basically doing that crime. Mark Carney rigged an election through dream conditioning. Like I'm in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and the time they made it seem like it was a provincial election, so I didn't even vote. Right? If I would have seen Mark Carney, I would have voted for my daughter to be Prime Minister. Oh, that's terrible. Come on, Jack. That sucks. So I'll just go here. Because all I do is document proof. Here's me looking like Marcus Aurelius. I call myself Marcus Chris. Here's the guy that looks like my dad, carbon copy of my dad. And here's Princess Augusta Victoria. Here's Augusta Victoria. There's my daughter. Augusta Victoria, my daughter. And then here's Prince Philip. There was me at 19. And here's Prince Charles at 19. So there's Prince Charles at 19. Saxe-Coburg. Somebody that lives in Saxe-Coburg, or the House of Saxe-Coburg, is Prince Charles, well, King Charles's father. So once again, there's King Charles at 19. Here's me at 19. And here is, where is it? And here is this is supposed to be Prince, like King Charles's father. So I look more like King Charles. Like I'm Prince Philip's third cousin, and King Charles's Prince Philip's fourth cousin. Like here's Captain James Cook. He looks like me from the 1700s. This guy, there's I forget who this guy is. He's some sort of German emperor. But there's my grandfather. So my grandfather looks like him. My grandfather looks like Mao Zedong. This guy was Field Marshal Colin Campbell. I'll just show you here. This invitation that, where you can see right here, says Princess Louise. Right, so on the back of this invitation, it said Colin Campbell. So when I looked up online, it was the first Baron, Field Marshal Colin Campbell, and it said Duncan McTaggart. So that means that my family was supposed to be done the can. When they say the can, they call that prison. So they should have been done, prison, and Taggart is life art, where they make it seem that you're a predator to steal your attributes. My dad was so strong that they made him an alcoholic, and he not only they made him blacken for 25 years, and when he was in his 40s, he scored 140 on his IQ test, so that's genius level. But I seen him, he was on his hands and knees, and I seen him throw 5 cops in 5 different directions, like something out of the movies. They went flying when he got up. And I'm even stronger than him, and my son's even stronger than that. And here's me. This is Miyamoto Musashi. He was a Japanese samurai that I look like. I look like a lot of people. Here's me, an Italian king that looks like me. There's a Saudi king that looks like me. I look like the Sun Tzu from The Art of War. This is Ludwig of Bavaria and Therese. This looks like my mom's brother and my mom's sister. They were husband and wife. Here's Emperor Meiji that looks like me. There's George V that looks like me. They made some guy at the mental health ward like today come in here that looks like this guy. There's a staff member that looks like my sister that passed away. Once again, I'll just show you what I look like right now. So this is what I look like right now. And I'll just show you how I'm something like Brad Pitt's 5th cousin. There's Brad Pitt right there. So he looks like me. And I'm something like Angelina Jolie's 3rd cousin. She looks like my sister that passed away. Who I believe Roger Daltrey raped my mom. He's a member of the Who. My mom was raped when I was... And here's Edward VIII. This looks like my twin. And I'll just show you George V. I guess I'll get a picture of that when he was a kid. He looked identical. And Nicholas II, the Russian king, I look like him as well. Boy. But where is it? There's that one. This one right here particularly looks like me. This one looks identical to me here. When I was a boy. And I look like I could show you. I look like Hadrian. I look like quite a few Roman emperors. Like on film, I'm like, okay, I'll show you Antonius Pius. He looks like me. He looks like me. And so I seen Antonius Pius, and I'm like, I bet 10%, because unofficially I own about 87% of the world's wealth. So I looked at Antonius Pius, and I'm like, I bet you 10% of my wealth that I look like his successor. He was Marcus Aurelius. I'll just show you. I look like Hadrian from Hadrian's Wall. I look like quite a few Roman emperors. Hadrian's Wall. Okay, that one, I do look like him, but there's a better picture. I'll show you a bust that I look more like. There's another one. Where is it? Where he looks fat. There's one where he looks fat that I look a lot like. I guess this one here I look quite a bit like. So anyways, I'm related to more royals. I'll just show you how I look like Sun Tzu from The Art of War. And when I read the 13th chapter, I thought I wrote it in a former lifetime because it says know your competition and innovation, and I'm all about knowing my competition and innovation. They use my mind to invent. I came up with what is it? Xbox Live in my sleep, digital photo frames 18 months before Sony did. I got ripped off in innovation at one point. So I'm trying to find, they make this one hard because the Chinese, but there's one book, I'll show you, there's one cover where the statue, here we go, this one right here. This one looks pretty close, like identical to me basically. So anyways, I'm Jesus and Mary Magdalene had kids, and that's why they made the movie, the Da Vinci Code. So I'm the main line. I have like some like billions of like ancestors, and so here's what a typical generation 1 biology looks like. You can see how there's ridges right there and ridges right there. My son is technically generation 1.5. Look how massive his back is, and he doesn't have those ridges. He has different bone like muscles right there. And here's my muscles. So you can see I don't have those ridges. Like I have a V right there that my son doesn't even have. Because I'm technically generation 2. So if you look right here, I'll just show you right here. If you look into my eyes on this, I'll prove that I'm God incarnate because I'm related to everybody. I'm related to Allah, Jesus, and my aura is unique even to my kids, which is unique to the human race. So if anybody could claim that they're God incarnate, it would be me. So once again, here's what regular 1 biology backs look like, and there's what my back looks like. So there's generation 1, and here's mine. It's completely different. I got different muscles right there. They told me that I have stabilizer bones beneath my knees. And here's how the government of Canada aged me. This was January 2025. You can see the wrinkles under my eyes and in my forehead, and I kind of allowed them to do it, like just to demonstrate it, and then I disconnected. But you can see right here, this is my DNA map, except for the white area. I'm related to, like, I have African, Asian, North American, South American, European, Oceanic DNA, and here is the king's markers right here. These are the king's DNA and emperor's DNA, and me and my kids are the only, like, I checked out 50 different profiles online, and every single profile had numbers in these columns except for me, and I'm assuming my kids, meaning I should have been I should have turned about 20, like looked about 25, matured at 25, and then I shouldn't have grown older. I feel 25 inside. I'm 47, and I'll just show you right here. You can see right here, I'm 47 in this picture. This is from May, while I was in the hospital here. This is May 15th, and you can see I don't have any wrinkles right here. And you can see right there, this is me. I got a pimple at 47 because my body was rejuvenating. But this fat, I call it Fat Kim. Fat Kim came here to the hospital, so I gained about 10 pounds overnight because they're connecting their body to me. So I'm fat. This guy today's like, oh wow, you gained weight. I'll try to show you here. I had a 6-pack before I came to the hospital. They made it so I couldn't I'll just show you here more screenshots. So before I came to the hospital, I'll just show you what I look like. So this was early May. This was May 2nd, 2025. You can see before I came to the hospital, they gave me wrinkles under my eyes, and I had more wrinkles on my forehead than I do now. But since I've been in the hospital, I'm rejuvenating because I'm not smoking. When I smoked, they wrote kilotons of poison. Like you can see that this is me getting gassed. I slept in an ATM booth, and with the forced ventilation, they gassed me right there. So they gave me a wrinkle right there. You can see the puffiness right there. But once I'm outside, I rejuvenate. I spend most of my time outside, so I rejuvenate. And here's my spit. Oh, actually, there's caustic soda in that. And let's see. So I have all this proof, and the sacred cut is because they augmented my penis when I was circumcised. They tapered it to facilitate copulation with Japanese people. So let's see. Do I have a picture of my abs? Because I had a six-pack. Well, anyways, they made it so I couldn't even dunk a basketball till I was 36. So I couldn't dunk a basketball till I was 36, and I didn't have a six-pack till I was 46. Right, that's their penis at me. The Canadian government feels like making me not have my biology to myself for 47 years was a worthwhile investment, and they're losers because I didn't realize this at the time that I control the world's economy. But in 2017, I had this shipping and receiving job, and one of them said, like, there was always suspicious names on these packages. Right, that people that I knew, right, and one of them said worst evolution. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna get my DNA tested then, right, because they're telling me something. They were always hinting something, right? So I got my DNA tested, and my mom was born in right outside Boston, Massachusetts, and my dad was born in London, England, and so my mom lived in Denmark till she was 5. So the Americans, my mom had dual American citizenship, so the Americans pretend I'm American to justify violating me. And but anyways, so with the worst evolution, then all of a sudden I see my DNA map where it encompassed 90% of the planet, right? So I was shocked, right? Because my grandfather on my dad's side told me that I had some German from him, right? And so I thought I had Danish, I thought I had like United Kingdom, and I thought I had German ancestry. So when I seen the entire world, I was blown away. It's like, wow, right? And I haven't got sick since then. I'm probably the only human on the planet that's never got COVID. They could try to give me COVID. Like if I had a girlfriend that had a flu on film, if she was like not puking, but if she was visibly, if you could tell that she had the flu, I'd get her to cough in my mouth, and I wouldn't get sick. I don't get sick. I don't get sick anymore. Right, like I have mind over matter. So if I feel some sickness coming on, I could attack it with my brain and then make the pain go away. Like while I'm sitting here right now, they're making my hip hurt, right? So all I have to do is, I'll just show you right here. Let's see if they. So once again, there's where I permanently unregister there, and there's where I permanently registered all my perpetrators right there, and getting all violators. Once again, this is my aura. They hide my aura from the world. I've been told by 5 people I'm the most likable person on the planet. I've been the first in the world in 2 games. One was a math game where like the questions would be like this. They would come down like that. It'd be like, say, 25 times 32, and I'd have to answer it that fast. And I was answering it that fast because that's how smart I am. And that was using a small part of my brain. I'm able to, like right there, I just like, see how my eyes did that? I just solved every Sudoku puzzle out there. That's how fast I am. I had quantum computing filling, like that could do trillions of puzzles, like numbers at once. And that's how fast I was able to solve every single Sudoku puzzle. They've known that they use my mind to predict the strategy. So once I get out of here, I could predict and win the lottery, right? Like there's, watch this, I'm gonna disconnect. Did you see my face drop? I just disconnected and killed a human hijacker. Right, and I'll just show you the technology that they use. Anyways, I get perpetrators all the time. And I'll just show you here. Because with this technology here, this is the BAN 100.
But this technology shows that you could have these implants where you could see what the vision does, what the hearing does, what the blood pressure does, glucose, toxins, and all this stuff. And it could all be controlled over a cell phone. So nowadays with nanotechnologies, it's wireless. And this shows how people could then communicate. And in Canada, in the Charter of Rights, there's freedom of thought. Like, not freedom of words, freedom of thought. Because George Orwell, you could search this online, 1984 by George Orwell. He came up with the thought police in 1949. They killed him in 1950 because he revealed this. But the thought police has been around, right, since the 40s. Lucille Ball had some dental work done in 1942, and she picked up a radio station that only she could hear in her head. A few weeks later, she picked up some Morse code and even helped capture a Japanese spy ring. I'll just show you the proof. This is science. The thing is, it's hidden in plain sight. And Cheap Trick in 1979, when I was 2 years old, came up with a song called The Dream Police. It's like, Dream Police, get out of my head. I can't lie, basically, because you listen to my thoughts, is the long and short of it. They don't say that, but it's like, Dream Police, get out of my head. Right? All you have to do is search. So watch Lucille Ball, Japanese spy ring, Japanese spy story. What says not definitively confirmed? This is AI, artificial intelligence. They lie. They lie about this. Like, because the other day I searched for, watch this, let's see what they come with. Egg before the chicken paradox. Let's see what they say this time. With root, okay, so now they're saying it in ancient Greece. I checked my history, like I made a video, so I checked it online. I'm like, okay, it said 4th century BCE. That meant 4 centuries before Christ emerged, BCE. And so then I checked a few hours later, and then the artificial intelligence, like even though I went to history, I did this. All I did was go here, and then I went to history, and then I looked for my history, and the artificial intelligence, this part, the AI overview, changed its tune. It lied. It said it's from the 18th, 19th century. So anyways, so people with Generation 1 biology, your biology, they pondered, speculated, or quandered for over thousands of years. Did the egg come before the chicken? So first of all, how did the egg, like I've never seen a bird's nest that wasn't in a tree. So how did the egg get up in the tree? Super egg must have flown. No. Then what did super egg do? Super egg found some branches and then built a nest. Oh, wow. You mean super egg could do that? Then what did super egg do next? It incubated itself. So anyways, being sarcastic, and sarcasm is a sign of a healthy mind, right? And they're saying I have mental health issues. And once again, this is me adjusting the testosterone in my voice and estrogen in my voice. So it's impossible for me to have a chemical imbalance, right? So as soon as the doctor medicates me, I'm going to, sue for medical malpractice. They're not allowing me to verify proof. I'm the smartest human that's ever lived. Like two people told me that I'm the smartest person that they've ever met. Right. And anyways, so they never even for like thousands of years, they never even said, well, how did the egg incubate itself if it came first? Because chickens sit on the egg to incubate it. That's what they do. They build a nest, they sit on their eggs the entire time. So for that to be a paradox for that long, it doesn't make sense, right? Like you are a fairly smart species, right? You come out with rocketry and, you had, before I was born, you had 8-track radios, right? After, like, you now have quantum computing because of me. Right, everything cool on the planet is because of me. Like your cell phone that you're using, the internet you're using, everything cool, like tapes, CDs, digital music. That's all because of my brain. I'll just show you right here. I'll just show you. Canada, I was born in 77 Olympics. Olympic standings. They keep me poor. They keep me poor. Oh, they changed it. Last time I looked, it was 40th place. So anyways, so they're saying 27th place. And in 1980, the USSR boycotted it. So it didn't really count because USSR was the superpower of the America was the superpower, and then the Russians and the USSR were the superpowers. So the second place, like the best team wasn't in the Olympics because, in 1980. So I'll just show you the 1984 Olympic standings. When I first looked, it said 40th, and then Canada went to 11th because of my biology. You'll see right here. And America went from 6th overall medal standings because of my biology. They went from 27th to 6th, and they never allowed me to. I wanted to cry for Canada. I have a Canadian flag tattoo on my arm. I tried cutting off because I thought I was a standout. Like I thought I was above average. I didn't realize I was, had evolution or anything like that. I did an IQ test at 13 and I scored like 127. And there was an entire section I didn't even try. I wasn't interested, so I just made a pattern. I was like C B B B A E C B A D B B, like for 45 questions, right? But like arithmetic and pattern recognition, like I scored off the charts, like beyond genius for pattern recognition. But so that's how I was able to decipher the fact that people are able to pop up my thoughts and what have you, right? So they made it so a diamond ring is a girl's best friend, so they could spy on her thoughts. Any jewel, they could see your thoughts, right? The crystal balls have been around for thousands of years because you could see people's thoughts with them. Right? They would have given up on it. Like alchemy. I can make alchemy happen with quantum mechanics and particle entanglement. Alchemy is turning lead into gold, right? But they gave up on that after a couple hundred years because there was no results, right? Isaac Newton tried it and what have you, but with crystal balls, they never gave up on it. You could buy crystal balls 1,000 years ago and you could buy crystal balls now. And people always claim to be psychics and be able to read their minds. So once again, Canada was 27th in the world before I was born, the year before I was born. And then when I was 7 years old, they were 6th. Because of my biology. This is my natural voice. My ex-wife, my aunt said my voice was too deep naturally. And this is my natural voice. I'm not going to whisper. I'm fucking king. Kings don't fucking whisper. I'm related to more kings than anybody on the planet. And here, getting people to look right here. See that right there, watch. Did you see how my eyebrows went like that? I just showed evil people hell and they died as a result. So once again, there's heaven and then evil people. Oh. That was me killing evil people that were connected through me through chemical electrolysis. And C. O'Brien, a cop, that he cupped my ass when they formed me here. I asked with a K. When I say AST, they're black people and southern, like Mason Road people that are trying to gain affinity here. I'm not black. I'm blonde hair, blue eyed. So they're pretending to be me there. That's why my eyebrows changed. But anyways, I mentioned to him like, can you commandeer a human body with technology? And he said no, right? So he lied, right? They do this all the time, right? Like I'll just show you one subliminal metric. I have better ones than this, but I haven't found the video unfortunately. But I have one where you could see my face in the sidewalk basically. Oh, here we go. So you could see how that scar looks like a 25. This happened when I was 13. It never looked like a 25, and medical records would probably show that it didn't. But it looks like a 25 now because it's the year 2025. So I showed my son where this is the scar right here, where I unhacked the technology so my scar started to recover right in front of my son's eyes. And then I took a picture of it. Because it takes technology. I had a scar. Let's see if it's gone. Because I had a scar on my face from a pimple. From this guy named Dave Swanson. The guy smokes jib, and the Canadian government lets him violate me. But yeah, it's gone. But I'll just show you where I had a scar on my face from picking a pimple at 45 because they made my skin like it was 108 years old. So they gave me a scar from a pimple. Let's see if I find that one. And this is all evidence, right? I requested, as soon as I got hospitalized, I'm like, give me an ultrasound. Well, first an x-ray a positron emission tomography, basically seeing the functionality of your brain, and then an ultrasound, and I can prove that I have exotic biology, and they haven't allowed me to do it. But you can see right there, there's the scar that I don't have anymore on my face. And there's a video like on my TikTok where it shows that I have clear mucus, and my urine is virtually clear. It's slightly yellow, because my body's so efficient at cleaning the toxins that I don't waste as much as you guys do. That's why your urine's yellow, because you waste. You can't process your food as well. Like, my body's just more efficient, so my urine's virtually clear. You know, I thought it was like I drank too much fluid, but now I know it's just my evolved human biology. Anyways, this is more proof, and eventually I'm going to be king, and the doctor, he wields power over me, and anybody that's ever wielded power over me my entire life, just remember, once I'm king, there's going to be the rotisserie execution tour in Thailand. You can't even look at the king in the eyes. I'm blonde hair blood. And you can't even look at the king in the eyes in Thailand without going to prison. And in North Korea, if you go to prison, your entire family goes to prison. And in the Quran, remember, I'm related to Allah. Like, somebody came in the room to kind of, come here, or there. But anyways, I'm related to Allah. So in the Quran, if you shoplift, they cut off your hand for shoplifting. And these Canadians, they think they could steal my attributes and not have limbs cut off. I was able to come up with 100,000 amputation machine. It means I could keep you alive and amputate you 100,000 times. So I'm going to amputate you, and once you come to terms with that amputation, I'm going to amputate you again, up to 100,000 times. Fuck you.